What makes relationships last?
Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but what we've found is good communication holds everything together.
We decided to dedicate time every week to not only strengthen our relationship, but stimulate personal growth.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication.
Welcome to Date Night Conversations.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Date Night Conversations. I'm Chantel.
I'm Greg.
And in this video, guys, Greg and I are going to ask each other 3 random questions that we have never asked each other before.
I so look forward to these nights because they make you think on a deeper level. You're seriously thinking things you've never thought before.
I just personally like to have my mind stimulated that way. I like people to make me think. I don't want to take things for just face value, like life for face value. I want to
dig deeper.
Because I think that's how we grow as individuals. You know, you just keep learning and you just put yourself interpersonally on a different level. And I just like being able to do that. And I like being able to do that with other people and have them chime in. I think it's an awesome thing to do.
I love that the responses are so genuine. It's so random, and it's just, you're sort of on the spot, right? And your real answer to that question.
Yeah, because there's times we're just thinking and thinking and thinking.
Yeah.
We just can't come up with
Sometimes
the answer.
you have to think out the answers. We're like talking it out.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a whole conversation, and then
you realize how deep the conversation
Exactly.
went. That's so cool. All right, guys. So you ready to get into it, babe?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Let's get into it. All right. So am I first this time?
You are first.
Okay. All right, guys. Question number 1. What's the worst job you ever had?
That's a good question.
It is a really good question.
Oh, man. Okay. You know what's funny? So there's something I appreciate about every job that I've had.
Okay.
And so to think of what's the worst one, okay, I have 2. Can I have 2? Because they're for different reasons.
Yes,
completely.
You absolutely can too.
So one was working on the weekends in the winter on my mom's side on my grandma's farm. My mom's farm.
Okay.
And that was, it's like a bird farm with a slaughterhouse. And it was my job in the winter to go outside and get the birds. The
bird catcher.
I was the bird catcher. And it was freezing. It would be in and out. Our hands would be in water, out of water, and doing sort of the grunt work in the slaughterhouse and running to the barns.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cold. And oh my gosh, it was terrible. So
I'm sorry.
In terms of the labor that I did, the things you have to do to maintain that type of a farm,
Right.
that was the worst job. Because it was physically the most uncomfortable I've probably ever been. Okay, now the other worst job was one that it took its toll mentally. And that was when I did the cabinet making.
Oh,
So that was my, through high school, end of high school job. And it got so bad that I started having nightmares.
What?
Yeah. It was bad.
That's crazy, babe.
We did custom cabinet making, specifically aquarium furniture. So we did, there was aspects of it that I absolutely loved. But then I don't know if it was just the pressures to get things done in the time and the position that I had to do that. I would go home and have nightmares, I couldn't sleep, and it was doing me in. It was that was too much. There was one shift where I worked 43 hours straight, doing overtime, on my feet, and one of the clients actually let me nap in her car.
Oh my
goodness. So I got just a 3-hour break one after, because I was falling asleep. I was trying to eat my lunch and just sitting, and I'm done because we had timelines. This has to get out. And I was the floor manager.
Man, that's rough. I think that's too much for a job to have an effect on your mentality that your body starts to respond to it, like your body seriously starts to shut down. You're tired.
Oh, bad.
And then that you have nightmares. That's not good. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
But you know what? I think there's so many people out there, because I've had those experiences, that that's literally their job and that's what they do. There are people that still do that. And they just deal with it. Man, that will make you crazy. That's stress to the maximum level. Maybe there's people that are just made for that and they can do those jobs and like, yeah, it's just a job, I do that.
I don't know. I'm sure there is everyone you can think of out in the world.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
Okay, so what's your worst job?
My worst job? Okay, so two come to mind for me as well. And I think one of the two would be when I used to do the paper route, because I'm not a person that likes cold. And I was at a very young age. I remember receiving assistance from my mom, but I think when I was around 13, 14 and decided to do it on my own or with my friend, and we had a shared route where we had to do something with the paper route or collect money, and it was cold. Having to go out there in the winter was the worst.
So the paper route was your worst job?
One of my worst jobs.
I had a paper route and I can remember those. My dad had to wake me up in the morning early.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst job.
That's pretty bad. But that's you understanding responsibility at a young age. And that's
Exactly.
one of the rough jobs. Like, what? You have to get, and it's so easy and it makes so much sense. You get up early, you deliver the paper because you know people want to read
Oh
the
my
paper
God.
early, and you go collect your money
It's
on
like
time.
a learning job.
And you learn people and you be friendly. You give out chocolates during Christmas and you say thank you to people, and people give you things. That's the first time you really exchange to see like positive reward system. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways.
It's really interesting. It's a paper route, but there's actually so much you can learn from it.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to do it.
See, that's not horrible. Okay, cool.
So my second one, like I just had jobs here and there, like little small jobs for short periods of time. But another one would be when I worked at, I'm going to say like Toys R Us. And I was a cashier over there. And I didn't really work with anyone I could vibe with. So they had a job fair. I went to the job fair. And
Toys R Us job fair?
Yeah, they had hiring managers at Toys R Us.
Okay.
And I went over there and I think I learned about the job at the time still through the paper. In the local paper. Because there's nothing online at that time.
Oh my gosh.
To say.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a little bit long ago. But
Can you still look in the paper though?
yeah, I think you can, but it's more coming
Where do you get this paper?
Well, they still deliver.
Not to our house, they don't.
Because you don't pay.
I don't read it. We literally take it off the step and it goes in the recycle.
Yeah, you're right. Because we look at everything online on our phones. We follow accounts that keep us up to date with local events. So
we don't get the paper.
we don't get the paper. So basically, back to Toys R Us.
I don't think anybody gets the paper.
I think they, well, right now, no, maybe not. I don't know. Is it essential? I really don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is it equivalent to mail? Because mail is essential.
Mail's essential. People need to know what's going on in the world. They need their papers. They don't watch things. They don't got cable. They need papers.
It's a special subscription?
Especially, exactly. And they pay for it $7
$7 a week?
a week.
Is that what it was?
No, I think it's $14 a month.
$14 a month?
No, I think it's $21 a month.
You
Sorry.
have no idea.
No, because I'm thinking the boy would come 1 week and then I won't see him to next week. Like
It
2
was
weeks
so
after.
random.
Yeah.
When he would
I
show
don't
up.
know.
So I'd always give him extra when he did show up. Because I felt like I know I've missed something.
Anyways, okay, let me get back to my Toys R Us story before I actually forget. Okay, so back to my
Job fair.
Yes, so back to my Toys R Us story. At the job fair, I found out through local paper and I think word of mouth, and I go. So I got hired on the spot, and then I just started working with a group of people that I didn't know. So I'm learning them for the first time and realizing I don't vibe with any of these people. And
just thrown into a new type of people, the people that work at Toys R Us. And that's not your type of people.
No. And like
Do they all vibe with each other? Like they have similar conversations?
Some of them would, and then you'll just be invited into conversation, you'll talk, it'll be interesting, but then you realize like this person's always crying about something, this person's always complaining about something, this person absolutely does nothing, this person's always on their phone. Like you just know everybody. And it's just like you're at a cashier and sometimes the store isn't busy and you're standing on your feet and you probably had within that time frame from 9 to 5 like 7 customers, 15 customers, I don't know, but it's just a low amount of number that day and you're just standing. It's like, I'm just gonna go walk and put away clothes, or they'll make you do something. It's just like such minimum wage job, and it's just like learning again how to interact, like customer service and deal with people and teams.
You know what?
It was just so interesting. It was my favorite.
So that was your worst job?
I'd say so.
I think mine were way worse.
Yeah.
I haven't had a real job.
I was a PSW. That was hard.
I apologize. That's probably your worst job then, isn't it? Or did you just appreciate the experience?
I knew I was going to be a nurse.
See, so even though for some people they would say like that's a rough job, like that could be the worst job, because I can understand the people you might have to work under and the people you might have to work with.
Yeah.
But that's your job.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to say being a PSW, because I remember going in so young, nursing school, and having like a full patient load, having to get like seniors ready for bed. Some of them are so like, oh my gosh, they were just like such a heavy caseload sometimes, and you get like no help, no support. And it's just like you're looked at the bottom. You
know what though? I think you have an appreciation for people in that position because you started there to get to where you are.
Yeah, I did.
So you don't consider that your worst job because it's part of...
Yeah, like leveling up in a sense, right?
But...
It was tough. I got peed on, I got shat on, like, you know, my hair got pulled from the resident because it had like cognitive challenges. You know, and it's just a rough job, and you're there sometimes like double time, so you're working 16 hours.
Man, that's brutal.
And you go back in for a next shift.
But you thought paper route, and you thought Toys R Us.
I did. But I thought, I don't know. I had to talk it out.
Like, wait a second. This one might be worse than that one, and you just keep going up the list.
Yeah.
This one's way worse than that one.
Yeah, I had to talk it out. My PSW job was rough, but I remember paying for school and like taking any shift I can get to make it to nursing school and just to keep myself busy because I needed money and I had to buy things. Like my mom wasn't supporting me then. She's like, you're an adult. I gotta put gas in her car if I'm driving it. Like, you know what I mean? So you need to get your own shingling.
Wow.
So yeah.
But that's just, so it's interesting because my families, both on my dad's side and my mom's side, they had farms, and I would go be like a farm hand, and that was my job all through my early teens, like starting from 12 all the way up to 16, 17.
Okay.
And so I worked on the farms, and that was my introduction to jobs. Like, so when people would tell me they had like McDonald's, my sister worked like Burger King, fast food, that kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and we'd like try and stop by and get stuff with my friends.
Did you get stuff?
Sometimes she had like a cool manager on or something. They'd let us ride our bikes through the drive-thru. There'd be someone who's really mean and say no, because if you get hit, we can get sued. So get out of the drive-thru. But
I mean, yeah. What type of manager would you be?
Yeah, get your bike out of the drive. I don't know.
It depends who it is. I would give someone a market.
You know, you got some fries or something.
I know, but just, I would hand it, but like, listen, next time you come in, if they did it again, listen, I'll give it to you this time. But if you get hit, come in. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Come in. Because it's drive-through only at that time. Okay, all I was saying is, other people who would have jobs like the jobs you're describing, where you're actually working in a new environment with new people you've never worked with before, you just become part of that team. I never had that until, wow, like way later. Then that was when I was actually graduated from school, so it was a whole different level. So I never had that through my teens.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
So it's really kind of interesting.
It was a relatively easy life for you until your teens, and then you were thrown to the wolves where you couldn't sleep.
I was with my family. like all through my teens.
Yes.
Then the first job I got was that cabinet making job.
You weren't
Like
sheltered
I started
anymore.
with that. No, that wasn't a job because I was brought in by friends
Okay.
and it was a friend,
Got you.
their parents, and
Got
I
it.
knew them.
Mhm.
So I was brought in, and then you have someone to go to. I wasn't like jumping into a place working with all new people
Got
for the
it.
first time. So there's always somebody there with me.
Mhm.
It wasn't until after that, like I was a bike messenger. Steve brought me in. That was my sister's boyfriend. Like there was always somebody, like a sort of a connection. I was never on my own until I finally finished school, and that was
Your first
that
real
was and, like
job.
working in the gym. So I was the personal trainer.
Okay, I got it.
It's a long story. Holy smoke! That was the first question.
It is.
Okay.
That's okay. That happens sometimes. But we have to give our
gosh,
viewers
jobs.
a turn. Yes.
Yeah, guys.
This is an interesting one. I'd like to hear some stories, guys.
What's the worst job you've ever had? Yeah, I'm really curious. There's some bad jobs.
It's gonna make me think.
And it could be bad because like the physical aspect, like the toll it had, or the mental, like just it could be one manager at what otherwise could have been an amazing job.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this dude just drove me insane. Worst job.
All right,
Okay.
guys. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, we're moving on to question number 2.
All right. What part of your body do you worry turns me off?
Really? I have never thought about that.
What part of your body do you worry turns me off? What part of your body do you worry turns me off?
Yeah,
What part of
me.
your body do you worry turns me off?
None of it. Like, I don't even think about it.
Is there a spot that's like, don't touch me there? I have one. You don't have one? That's good.
Turns you off? I really don't have one. I'm like happy with like my imperfection.
You're totally comfortable with all parts of you. As far as turning me off.
Turning you off?
Yeah, is
I don't think, is there anything that turns you off right here?
No.
I don't know what to say. Really?
That was
That's the
best
better
response.
question.
That was the best. That's so good.
That's all I have to say then.
Babe, that's the best response.
It's from the heart.
All right. So if you're asking the same question,
Yeah.
my love handles.
Oh my gosh.
This little
Okay, this
software.
man is documenting his summer journey to losing, like, what, 5 pounds or something off your sides there? He is like working hard every morning, getting up, doing fasted cardio for 40 minutes on the treadmill to just shed a little bit of body fat around his tummy. He's working so hard. And you think that would turn me off?
Okay, let me ask it this way. My starting who I was versus my finishing who I will be, which would turn you on more?
Well, obviously the more chiseled, refined
Exactly.
looking.
That's all I'm
But
saying.
if I didn't have that to compare to, I love you for who you are and what you
Oh, I
come
totally
with.
know that.
Yeah,
But
it
I
doesn't
know
bother me.
because I feel better there. So if I let myself go, there's a point that makes you, that for everybody, there's a point you get to where something just clicks. You're like, I gotta
Clean up.
clean up.
I gotta clean up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And I had hit my cleanup point. And so there's parts of me that like
well, that's
like I
good.
wanted to
That's
fix.
good. You made it a priority.
Right. So all
to
it
do
means is
so.
it's not really, I don't think it would turn you off.
No, nothing turns me on.
Not in that sense, but that's my
Okay.
area of concern.
Okay. If you put it that way, then it would be my hair. Because sometimes I let my hair go. Oh, I'm just like, I'm not combing it today. But then I just walk around with
And
it.
you know I really don't.
And
It doesn't matter to me. in the
no
end.
at all. Does it? Like, I don't know.
No,
Because,
absolutely not. There's
I mean, like, sometimes when I let it go, like, and we're just, like, you know, picking at each other, you'll go, like, little curly do right here because it's just sticking out. But, like, that's the extent of it. We make fun and have fun. So
yeah. I know there would not be anything that would turn you off, but it's like it's almost like you said with your hair. You wouldn't go out like that.
No.
And that makes me like uncomfortable taking my shirt off, but I'm not really.
You're fine. You're fine.
Weird. All right, their turn.
All right, guys, let's read the question one more time. What part of your body do you worry turns your partner off? All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, babe. We are moving on to the final question.
You got the final question.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We get here way too quick. I don't like getting here too quick. Okay. How easy is it for you to lose your temper and why?
You know what? I don't think it's that easy. I think in the past it was. A younger version of me.
Okay.
Like before you.
Okay.
But now it needs to be like there's more of a trigger, I guess. Where I take most things, I'm pretty laid back.
I think so too. You are like really humble, laid back, cool kind of guy. And it depends who you're dealing with, because if it's the kids and they just
it's not easy.
But I'm saying if it's with the kids and the kids keep going, you have to like kind of raise your voice to get.
Think of the accumulation of what it actually takes to get to that point.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like for me to, and even just raising my voice, even most times with them, I'd rather just go, like, I think I'm pretty lenient for the stuff they do.
For sure. No, we both are. But I think
to lose my temper is like an accumulation of something where it's been repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated.
I don't really think you lose your temper that way. I'm just looking at it as the highest level of you getting upset, where you have to elevate your voice, like raise your voice, like, guys, just because they're not listening, or when the girls are fighting or something like that. So we can
think of it in a scenario as a parent.
Right, but I don't think you lose your temper. Like, you don't, like,
say
wreck things, you don't do things
we're
like
driving and somebody cut me off.
You wouldn't lose, you're like, that was rude, and you're just like, keep going.
Right, so I'm saying someone who isn't in a situation where they have kids who are testing them every day.
Oh, you're just like a regular
Just
smuggler?
regular, everyday life.
So,
like, think of other scenarios that would lose your temper.
I think most people can tell that you're a really gentle person and you're laid back and you don't lose your temper like that. Like, and you've already said it in other videos that's like, if you want to cut me off, I let them have it because they're racing to get ahead of me by one car. It doesn't bother you. And some of the responses like you will receive from people online doesn't bother you. It's just like, yeah, it's whatever. You don't lose your temper.
Okay. So it's not easy.
It's not
How
easy for you.
How easy is it for you to lose your temper, and why? It's not easy at all. It doesn't bother me that much.
No, yeah, it will take a lot. It'll take a lot.
All right.
For me, I think it just depends the time of month when you catch me. Because sometimes I can have a lot of patience, and there's other times I can just go, and I know it, and I'm just like, I am not feeling it today. And that's just me being honest. Like, I can be a pinch hormonal. I just have those days, and I'm just not feeling it. And I'm upset with the world.
Yeah, you're good.
Just being honest. All right, do we turn it over to them then? All right, guys, that was the third question. We're gonna read it one more time for you.
How easy is it for you to lose your temper, and why?
All right, guys, let us know. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, guys. Pretty interesting. Made us think.
Sounds good.
It was really good. All right, guys, we're looking forward to interacting with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.